welcome to Thursday's Coaching Corner. Let's take a look. Remember, this is for the anti-gravity program. We start in here with the sled drive, half trip, 100% body weight every minute on the minute. We do 10 of those. That means we load up the athlete's body weight on one of our sleds, so it's a heavy drive. Let's take a little look at heavy drive. Here's 80 kilos on there. I weigh 80 kilos, so you can stay about there and I'll come push it past you. So the athlete starts and he's got to push from one end to the other. I'm aiming for full strides by extending behind me. I'm staying low, and you'll notice that each step is getting maximal plantar fascia and Achilles stretch. So I'm feeling this all the way through, stretching, and then I'm fully extending. So I'm pushing this all the way down. Takes about 20 seconds for the average athlete, and then they have like a 40-second rest. And then, so we have them do 10 of those. So it's a 10-minute warm up. So it's sled's a way of life at ATG. We do heavy sled almost every day in some way, shape, or form. And then that gets us warmed up. And then we get into our 90-90 pigeon progression. So at the very least, do something to get warm. And then we're going into 90-90 pigeon because before we open up the groin, we want to open up the piriformis. We find the more the piriformis can open up, the more the groin can open up. We call it 90-90 to pigeon progression because if the athlete starts here, over time, we want to just do two things. We want to straighten the back leg and we want to reach across shoulder to ankle. That's our goal for this stretch. 3 minutes each side, opening up. So we're opening up that piriformis so we can get into seated good morning. Watch your step. This is really important. You're gonna notice that we set up ATG with, you wanna take a look at the floor here? So you'll see this bench is lifted, that bench is not lifted, and that bench even has some boxes in front of it. So I believe the seated good morning is the most important foundation exercise for the lower back, but we're doing this on the last day of the week before we take Friday off because loading up on the back does take something out of the nervous system. So the heavy sleds and the seated good morning is like the most exhausting, but definitely open you up for maximal jumping. On this exercise, we get a triangular stance. We put the heels just in front of the knees, and then we arch the back as hard as we can while lowering the abs down to the bench. So we're trying to keep the chest up off the bench while we get the abs down to the bench. This is a double-legged version of a relaxed lunge stretch, which we think an athlete should be able to go elbows to the floor with back knee off and elbows right in. So think in terms of opening up the adductors. We're doing it for the adductors. Some athletes, imagine an athlete with super long legs, they feel like this and they can never really get into the exercise. That's why we lift up a bench for taller guys. And then you'll see here, yep. In this particular program, we're trying to build a base so I don't have athletes go more than half their body weight. Now you'll see here that I'll show you a rep first, just regular. This would be like a good ability to get to is where you can get with thigh parallel to the floor, abs to the bench without losing the curve in the low back. So you see my thighs like parallel to the floor. So if an athlete can't get abs to the bench, then you want to put them up on a little higher bench and ease into it if their low back is rounding too much. So once an athlete can easily get abs to bench, you want to keep challenging the mobility. So if I go here, now to every rep I'm thinking arch my back. So I start here, I get the arch, and now I'm trying to arch, and I'm just sinking into those adductors. So there I did not get my abs to the bench, so that's good. That means I'm now at like a challenging I'm now at a challenging degree, so that one I did. So I'm thinking a double adductor stretch every single rep. Double adductor stretch every rep. What that does is it brings my lower back closer, to my thigh than any other exercise, making it a foundation, making it every time you bend for anything in sports, you're potentiating more out of your posterior chain from opening up that exercise. So theoretically, if you're in any kind of athletic stance, the tighter you are in your seated good morning, the less you're going to be able to actually use your legs and glutes. And then, so you can stay right there, I'm going to bring it to you. Thought I had this one set up. So we go straight from the seated good morning to the weighted butterfly. The back has to be wedged up against something real good to lock in the stretch. And then you want to get your dumbbells, same thing. I don't recommend more than half your weight in total additional load. So I'm letting it stretch, but now I'm actually strengthening up. This is absolutely incredible to bulletproof the groin. 10 reps. We're trying to get those knees down to the floor. So I'm able to get that now with the weight helping me. But even if I didn't have it, you see I can use my own. You see how opening up the groin potentiates you to actually use the outer glutes. So for lateral movement, I can actually use my glutes to the fullest now. And then the last rep, 30-second stretch on the last rep. And then I would just, after 30 seconds, so now I'm really getting those legs like pressed in the mat. I would just re-engage on the last rep. So now I'm gonna give my back and my groin a break. As we went over on Tuesday's strength through length workout, we did standing calf raise, and we did just a straight up and down tibialis raise with split squat and Jefferson curl. So if I told you if I had to pick one, I would say that the seated calf raise relates more to lateral motion than the standing calf raise more linear. So watch your step. Come around here to the seated calf. This is one of my favorite drills. Maybe I would pick this number one for Achilles rehab. So I'm really emphasizing all the way down and holding the top position. I don't care if the athlete puts the hands in the hips, right here, but I currently like nothing touching. And notice I'm holding the top position each time. I'm pausing at the bottom. Holding the top, pausing at the bottom. And then, it's like my 7th set of these today, demoing that. And then that last rep. So that 10th rep when you go down, 30-second stretch. You wanna know how to get crazy ankle mobility, strength through length in those ankles. Now this is gonna get to deep layers of that soleus and Achilles. And then after 30 seconds, really try to get it up to the top. And from there, that just stretched me this way, so I actually potentiated. You can kind of watch your stepping. And about here, oh, where'd my hands go? Yep, you're good there. So now again, if I had to pick one, I would say that the ATG ankle exercise would relate more to lateral motion. So I suggest going a little bit lighter than you did on Tuesday when you went straight up and down. Go a little bit lighter, because instead of 10 straight up and down, we're gonna try to go 10 each way. This ensures a little bit lighter weight, because I'm thinking with more chance of error on this exercise. So now I'm thinking stretch, strengthen. Now I'm gonna go the other way. Stretch, strengthen. So it's just we're just looking at like a 45-degree angle each way. So you see I'm basically getting 20 sort of diagonal tibialis raise. So up, stretch, strengthen, inside of the ankle, stretch the inside of the ankle, strengthen the outside of the ankle, stretch the outside of the ankle, strengthen the inside of the ankle. And I mean, this is to try to get 10 each way. Again, we're gonna be taking these puppies to failure. Tibs starting to burn. Again, I've already done more than 3 sets demoing and such today. For some people, it'll be harder one way than the other. Usually, if they've had sprains. And I'm not feeling pain here, I'm just, tibialis is burning up. I don't know what I'm at, but that is failure. So, this gives us a strength through length workout for the ankle that does relate more to lateral motion, and a strength through length workout working towards middle splits and pancake oriented. If you put your Jefferson curl together from Tuesday with your seated good morning from today, you should be able to get, so you can see their shoulders to floor without no static stretching. I haven't done any pancake stretching. Chest. This is as good as my pancake has been without any pancake stretching, with only strengthening this week other than Sunday's minor static stretching. Remember, the only thing we're static stretching mandatory is that piriformis, because we don't yet want to risk putting strength through length. I'm not saying it can't be done, but pretty impressive today. I got my best front splits, easiest front splits has ever been, easiest pancake has ever been, with no static stretching, only strengthening, and jumps are highest ever. So let's see if there's anything else on the theory of the workout. Watch your step. In the anti-gravity program, we're taking Friday off. On Tuesday, everything was front splits oriented, linear, and on Wednesday we were skipping and sprinting. So you want to give that shit a break. That's why today it's all hitting the lateral stuff. And it's also, this is the one day that we put, really work the back hard, because the Jefferson curl is still a little bit easier on the back. The seated good morning is tougher on the nervous system on the back, as is, this is the heavy sled day, which for the most part, we use heavy sleds instead of heavy squats and deadlifts. So this is like your two tougher nervous system exercises. We're saving those for the last workout of the week, Thursday. Now we get Friday off, but we're opened up in the hips. We're potentiated for jumping. Those ankles are opened up, and 3 sets of 10. This is really not too bad to recover from, but we're trying to create an athlete in these 12 weeks on the anti-gravity program who has freaky ankles, freaky knee strength, freaky flexibility in all directions of the hip, freaky strength and flexibility in all directions of the hip, and this just sort of finishes it out. So if you're watching this, getting ready, have a great workout on this one, and then let's rest up Friday and visualize anti-gravity on Saturday.